Hello and welcome to the class. As promised in the previous videos, I said I will create a separate video for the ECMAScript 6. So today I have come up with this video of ECMAScript 6, and in this lecture I will try to introduce the concept of ECMAScript to you. ECMAScript 6 version. So let's get started. So ECMAScript 6 Modern JavaScript Development. This presentation will provide an overview of ECMAScript 6, or shortly ES6, a significant update to the JavaScript language and its key feature. If I concise or short this introduction, I can say uh, ECMAScript 6 is basically a modern JavaScript. It totally changed the landscape of JavaScript and its usage in the development field. So after the introduction of ECMAScript 6, JavaScript totally changed. If I say 90% of the JavaScript changed, then I won't be wrong, because after the introduction of ECMAScript 6, the usage of JavaScript grew very rapidly, and we will see later on how the usage of JavaScript grew. There are certain factors which are introduced, there are certain concepts, modern concepts, and it actually gave a boost to the developers and reduced their efforts in terms of development and the total time taken by the software development. So here we start and move further. What basically ECMAScript gave to the developers or its ecosystem. Its new ecosystem contains new syntax and language features. Now, the enhanced language. ECMAScript 6 introduced new syntax and features that streamline code development and improve readability. This includes support for classes, modules, and asynchronous programming. The introduction of classes, modules, and asynchronous programming in the ECMAScript 6 actually changed the definition of JavaScript. Now, with the introduction of ECMAScript 6, the concept of object-oriented programming came into existence in the environment of JavaScript. Next, we have improved functionality. These changes enhance the functionality of JavaScript, making it more powerful and versatile. They enable developer to create more robust and maintainable application. As I earlier said, that the enhanced how JavaScript provided ECMAScript 6 provided an enhanced JavaScript language. So with the introduction of all these concepts, it improved the functionality of JavaScript, and these concepts made JavaScript more powerful and versatile, and eventually led the software developers to create more robust softwares and maintainable applications. In the previous videos, I talked about let and const keywords. So if I define them here again, and if you haven't seen that video, you must go to my channel and watch the video about let, const, and var keywords, which are used to define the variables in the JavaScript. So before the concept of let and const, there was only var, and with the introduction of let and const, the concept of block scope came into existence in the JavaScript. Before these keywords, the concept of global and function scope was there, but with the introduction of latent const in the ECMAScript 6, a new concept of block level scoping came into existence. So previously we didn't have this concept. So let's define let. Let introduces block level scoping, allowing variables to be declared within a specific block of code, preventing them from leaking out. I have defined this how this leaking out and prevention work in let in my previous video. So if you haven't seen that, please watch it. And the const, from the const name we can understand that it is constant. Constant creates variables that are immutable. Immutable are the variables that are not changed, that cannot be changed once assigned. They cannot be redeclared or reassigned, ensuring data integrity. Another important concept that was introduced in the ECMAScript 6 was the arrow function. So do not worry about in the in-depth definition or the explanation of arrow function. I shall be creating more videos on each of the topic, making concepts more clearer and visible to you. So do not worry about it. Here in this video I shall be just giving you the concept of the topics that were introduced in the ECMAScript 6 and how it made JavaScript more powerful. So in the arrow function is basically a function, is a syntax of the function that was introduced in a simplest way. I will be showing you how arrow functions with are created and how they are used in the JavaScript in my subsequent videos. Number one, what is the importance of arrow functions? Number one, concise syntax. Arrow functions provide a more compact and expressive way to write functions, reducing boilerplate code. The arrow function has a very concise syntax, unlike the functions we previously had. So we will be using arrow in the arrow functions to make it more powerful and concise. Lexical this. The concept of this in the normal functions. I have in one of my videos I have described the difference between the arrow function and normal function. So please go to that videos in my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen that, well, lexical this, they automatically inherit the value of this from the enclosing scope. In the wherever we are using arrow functions, so it actually takes the value of this from the scope in which they are being used, simplifying handling of context within function. So it basically makes more context more clearer and more comprehensive and simplified. Default parameters. The default parameters concept was also introduced in ECMAScript 6. Flexible parameter. Default parameter allow function to specify default values for argument that are not provided, making them more adaptable. So if the developer doesn't provide or pass an argument to the function as a parameter, so it basically default parameter takes a variable from the developer and pass that value to the function by default or parameter by default. Simplified code. This simplified the code by eliminating the need for explicit check for missing arguments. So if, for example, we have a function that whose value passed to it by an argument doesn't change. For example, we have a constant value of pi or something like that. So we will pass that value as a default parameter. So by default, that if no value is passed, that value will be taken as a default value. Next in the queue is template literals. Template literals is a very important concept. Previously we had strings that were taking a single line from the user. So template literal made things more easy and efficient for the developers, since they also take dynamic values from the developers. For example, if we are having a string and in between that string we want to pass a dynamic value, so template literals helps us to pass that value dynamically. Multi-line strings. Template literals enable the creation of multi-line strings eliminating need for string concatenation, making code more readable. This is what I already defined in my own words. Embedded expression, they support embedded expression directly within strings, so this is same as the dynamic value providing a cleaner way to insert dynamic data. This is what I already said. Destructuring arguments. There are two concepts inside this destructuring argument. We can destructure our values by two ways, or two uh, types we can say in the destructuring argument. One is array destructuring, other is object destructuring. Array destructuring deals with the destructuring or taking the values from an array, particular values or the keys from an array, or the in the object destructuring we take particular values from an object. Destructuring allows you to extract value from arrays and object into distinct variables, streamlining access and reducing code clutter. So if we need particular values from an array, we would simply use array destructuring to extract those values from the array. And this is a very powerful component of ECMAScript 6. Instead of using complete array and reducing the performance of our code, we simply use array destructuring to extract only those values which we need. Other values are ignored. Similarly, we have object destructuring. It enables you to extract properties from object directly into the variables with the same name, making codes more concise. This is the same concept, but the difference is that array destructuring deals with the array and object destructuring deals with the object. Other two very powerful concepts introduced in the ECMAScript 6 were the spread and rest operator. Spread operator. The spread operator expands an iterable into individual elements usable for function calls, array literals, and object literals. So in the spread operator, we basically store or spread the iterable values like we have in our arrays and object literals. And then we have rest operator. The rest operator gathers remaining argument in an array. For example, if we are passing values to a function, and inside the argument we are passing to a function, we have 5 values, and in the function, in the function of the parameters of the function, we have 2 variables. So where will other 3 values go? So we will use rest operator that will take all the remaining values in it, so no data will be lost, or we simply will get all those values passed to the function. So this is how much helpful rest operator is. Classes and inheritance. As I earlier said, classes were introduced in ECMAScript 6, and this basically gave birth to the concept of object oriented programming in the JavaScript. Class syntax. ECMAScript 6 introduced class syntax, making it easier to define object oriented structures, enhancing code organization and reusability. Inheritance. Class support inheritance, allowing derived classes to inherit properties and methods from their parent classes, promoting the code reusability. As in the concept of object oriented programming, the concept of inheritance comes wherever there is concept of object oriented programming. There are also 3 other principles, like we have polymorphism, we have abstraction, and there is also one other concept. So these basically are the concepts of object oriented programming. So finally, the important one, very important one, promises. Promise is basically an object in our JavaScript that can have 3 possible values. A promise is either fulfilled or rejected or pending. In the fulfilled, it basically shows it is successful. In the rejected, it shows that there is somehow an error has occurred or it has failed and pending when it is under process. So what type of task does promise handle? So number one, asynchronous operations, like we have background operations wherever we have like or the API calls. In such asynchronous operations, it is very suggested or recommended to use the promises. Promises have a very good efficiency in terms of handling the asynchronous operations. Promises provide a more elegant way to handle asynchronous operations in JavaScript, making code more readable and manageable. Secondly, simplified handling. They simplify the handling of asynchronous results by providing a standardized approach to managing success and failure scenarios. Since I mentioned that it can have either a success, failure, or pending states in the promise, so it makes handling of the asynchronous operations more simplified. So these were all the concepts, important concepts that were introduced in the ECMAScript 6. So if you have any query regarding all these concepts, do not worry about all these concepts mentioned in the presentation. I shall be creating individual video for each of the topic with the examples, which will give more explanation or the description of every topic separately. Thank you.